Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today we're going to be talking about season characters and things you should do. And with the Calpheon Ball coming out, new players are going to be joining the game. We're going to get some returning players. And also Pearl Abyss made an announcement that anyone that has a seasonal character currently right now, you know, like one of these characters with the season icon, those are going to get graduated. So when the new season character or the savior comes out, I assume they just want everyone to play that again. So yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot of fun stuff. That means they're probably going to revamp seasons. I don't know how. We'll figure that out at the Calpheon Ball. But I made a list of things that, you know, new players and returning players should consider doing while you're on seasons, simply because it's a lot easier to do it there. And also, if you're, let's say, like 300 plus AP and going for the things you should be doing on seasons, probably not as great, because it doesn't, like, you feel like you're just wasting your time when you could be doing something else. So yeah, it's always better to do some things on seasons just because, like, you're there anyway. So yeah, I made a list, and in no particular order, here's what I'd recommend. These are for like newer players and I guess, you know, people who haven't played in a while. Number one, start doing your adventure logs. They actually simplified this, I think a couple of months ago. And basically, remember how you had to do all these different adventure journals just to get the AP, DP, and, you know, all the extra stats? Nowadays, instead of doing all this, all you have to do is the Igor Bartali adventure books. And like, they even made it simpler because there's stuff you had to do. They, you know, made that easier. So I would unfortunately say a lot of the guides out there are irrelevant, including mine, just because, you know, some of the stuff that we had to do back in the day, it's just different now. But anyway, so it's a lot easier, and you just have to do the Igor Bartali lines. If you have all the other ones done, you probably just got a bunch of titles and stuff like months ago when they revamped it. So yeah, I would recommend doing this on season, simply because, you know, if you're doing this when you're late game, you just feel like, oh, I could be grinding for 3 billion silver an hour, or I could do these adventure journals. So just recommend doing it like on a new character or on a seasonal or something like that. It just two birds in one. So yeah, do your adventure journals. Permanent AP and DP, always nice. Extra stats and everything is, you know, permanent on your account. So you never have to, you only do it once, you never think about it again. The next thing I'd recommend doing on seasonals is going for your fairy. So there's a quest line somewhere down in your suggested tab. I've already done it, so I don't know. You just probably look down here and then you'll find like something that says like earning a fairy or something. And I have a video talking about how you can go about starting the quest line, what you should do, the best skills and everything. And I'll just leave that to that video. I'll leave it in the description in case you're curious. It's a longer video, but you want to do this early on, just because one of the things we're also going to be talking about is infinite potions. And once you do that, you want to go for certain skills discussed in another video. And then once you have your infinite potions, you literally just set it up. You never have to think about it again. So yeah, getting a fairy actually is very convenient. And whether you spend money or not on it, you don't have to. And I think it will just save you a lot of time. So you might want to start doing this early, because when you're at the late game grind spots, you will definitely be noticing them, and you don't want to be auto potting or like manual potting every 2 seconds at higher end grind spots. Something that you just want to set like as soon as possible. So yeah, more details on that one, leave a link in the description, just like all the best skills, how to get it, and so on, and what you should go for. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is finishing the season and progression pass. So what is this one? The progression pass over here is this one. So if you're a new player, these are actually pretty decent. And basically you just do, it's kind of like the tutorial. It teaches you how to do a lot of things, and like you just get rewarded for doing it. So you learn the game, get rewards, and even though some of these are just like kind of irrelevant, they're just nice to have, and you learn the game. So yeah, just make sure to do all of these as soon as possible. The guaranteed pen one is a little bit outdated, I will admit, And you probably, as a newer player, I would not really recommend doing it because it's going to cost you more silver. But it's basically teaching you how to enhance. It's not super important. You need to do this one just because the rewards for what you're getting nowadays is not really worth it. So yeah, like if you have any questions or you're lost, just ask, and then I'll point you in the right direction. But aside from that, all of these are pretty relevant still, and then you just do all these, get a bunch of rewards easy, right? So do that one along with the season pass. You can only see that on your seasonal character. It'll be like somewhere around at the top, and you have to be on your season character. It's just like, you know, think of like a battle pass for any other game, and then you just complete a bunch of objectives, get rewards similar to that. All right, so next thing I want to talk about is kind of how we talked about the fairy, infinite potions. Now, nowadays, it's a lot easier to get them because you can just buy them off the market. Admittedly, someone still has to grind it out to sell it, but you don't want to be that person grinding it out, because you could buy one in like, what, 5 to 10 hours of grinding as a newerish player, and then you're just done. Otherwise, if you're the one, you know, making it yourself, it's probably going to take you, you know, significantly longer, like 10 or 20 times as long. So yeah, right now is a good time if you can get your infinite potions, and then you set them up, you never think about it again. And if you were thinking, which one do I get first, HP or the MP one? You always get the HP one, simply because you will always use that one at a higher priority over the mana potion or blue one. So yeah, red first, then blue, and also I believe it's also, you know, cheaper to get the health one first. So yep, get these, and here's how you do it. Let's say you get your potions, right? You put them in your family inventory, so you get like 4 inventory slots as free to play, and I talked about the things you put in there. So infinite potions, loot scrolls, and, you know, like one other thing is like a free spot, I guess. So anyway, the important ones are infinite potions and loot scrolls. Everything else is, you know, personal preference. And then go to your fairy. By default, this is what it's going to look like. You don't have anything here. You click your potions here, HP, MP, set it to, you use it on whatever number. You can always have it on auto use, but I don't like the dinging every time I'm at, like, you know, I only have like, let's say you're down 1 health and it does the ding over. So I'd like to keep mine at 98, and then this one is whatever. But ultimately, if you have infinite potions, you should probably have that going more or less as soon as possible. And we talked about all the other stuff in another video. All right, so seasonal characters. Things you should also do is, before you graduate, there's a lot of people who are new and are just like, okay, so what do I do? By the time your character is near the end of seasons, there's no rush or anything with seasons, by the way. So like going forward after the graduation and it gets reset, you basically can take your time. There used to be a like 2-month time limit before they get graduated. Nowadays, it's graduate when you're done, except for the upcoming thing, which they're revamping. But anyway, your gear should look something like this. All your Tuvala gear is at PEN. And then you can talk to Fugar, which is something they added, well, not recently, but like they added new quests. Fugar, in every single town, he has a bunch of quests over here, right? Called Leveling Aid. And you could do this with 1 Fallen God armor piece at Try, some Karazad, and a PEN Black Star. So what you do is you take your seasonal gear, right? And then you know how gear goes past PEN now all the way to DEC. And so like basically in a nutshell, PEN is at 5. You go enhancing 1 to 5, and then 5 to 10 after 15, right? So you get it to DEC, and then you talk to Fugar, and then he exchanges it for better gear that you use outside of seasons. And you want to do that, you know, obviously before you graduate or by the time you're done with seasons, and so you can actually wear the gear afterwards. So that makes sense, right? So talk to Fugar, get all your stuff done before you graduate. It just makes sense, and then that's always good to do. And aside from that, just make sure to finish up all the quests, like the mains and everything, before you graduate if you're not doing the simplified version. If it's your first character, it's probably better to do it, especially if you're going for the 30,000, 100,000 quest chain. You do all of these quests as usual. It's kind of tedious, but you do it. Also, you know, as a newer player, I don't know why they have this thing. So by default, your quests are off. It probably looks like this, right? And you're probably wondering, oh, I can't find these quests or anything. Just make sure to turn this on. Click this all button and turn it on. If they're yellow or they're lighting up, that means they're on. They're not on by default. It's stupid. It should be. But anyway, make sure it's on in case you're confused and can't find a certain thing. But anyway, aside from that, those are some of the basic tips. I probably have a lot more, but for the sake of not making like a 3-hour video, just do the basic things while on seasons, simply because you don't want to do it later on at the end game because you're like, oh, that's silver I could be grinding out somewhere else, and it just feels bad. So aside from that, you know, recap, adventure logs, you only have to do the Igor Bartali ones for the stats over here. Everything else is just like titles and quest completion rewards, you know, other small rewards, but the important ones are getting the permanent stats on your account. So that's always good. As far as I know, the only ones I'm missing are the permanent enhanced, which is just questing, which I really don't care to do. But aside from that, you want the AP, DP, you know, the extra HP and every other thing. So just do all these. Unfortunately, a lot of the guides are outdated, but it, you know, a lot of these are very self-explanatory these days. Like, go catch a fish and then talk to Igor Bartali. Like, if you need help with that, I don't know what to tell you. Just figure it out. Then getting your ferry in more detail, just watch the video. We talk about that and finish the progression pass. This isn't something that is a time-gated one, but you kind of, you know, if you're a new player or you're returning and you're completely lost, just figure out, like, do all these, and then they'll basically teach you how to play the game. So you're good. And infinite potions, you want to get these as soon as possible. Do it when you're on a lower geared character, simply because you're doing two things in one, like leveling up your seasonal or something, or just grinding somewhere else and then buy it. And then finally, make sure to get all your gear maxed out before you graduate, because you will get to exchange everything. And yeah, so make sure to just actually get everything to Pen, get a few deck, weapons, armors, and accessories to exchange to Fugar, and talk to him. There'll be a quest over here and some like other stuff over here. Just do those quests before you graduate, and then you're good. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Thanks so much for watching. If they make any changes with the Calpheon Ball with seasons, which I think they will, simply because they're forced graduating everyone for in like next week, I believe on the 17th, anyone that currently has a seasonal, it's getting auto graduated. And what that means is it's just going to a normal character. It's not getting deleted or anything. So just make sure to finish it up everything you can for everyone who's still playing. But if you're new, it's not a big deal. Those are some basic tips to help you guys. And with that said, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Would love to see you come back. And we got a bunch of videos coming out in the near future, especially with the Calpheon Ball in literally 2 days. There's going to be a lot to talk about. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.